Actually, Priscilla, you want to add something?
Oh, I was gonna say once again, it's like this painting of Hindus as these like privileged group of people that are now taking control of
Right.
various text spaces in particular. Like maybe Parth, you want to talk a little bit about the immigration angle that we were also exploring, because one of the things that we saw is that as Hindus become more prominent in various spaces, like Parag Agarwal and maybe Sundar Pichai and other very big tech CEOs that come from a Hindu background, these kind of messaging in regards to these particular individuals is spiking. So yeah, Parth, did you want to say something a little bit there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks, Prasiddha. So, as we know, Hindu immigration and immigration from India into the US has been increasing in recent years. There's been a tremendous spike actually over the last decade, especially. And a lot of this immigration is coming through the H-1B route. H-1B visas, of course, are given to workers who reside in foreign countries who come to the US for employment in high tech, high skill jobs. And so, in many ways, this kind of confluence of both immigration coming in of a new group, right, which
Yeah.
feeds into the very kind of hot button issue of xenophobia, something that has always been, unfortunately, within the American DNA.
Right.
We've seen in the past when Irish Catholics first came to this country that there was a huge movement against them. Then next it was Chinese immigrants, and of course after that other Eastern European immigrants as well. And so now we're seeing the latest wave against Hindu people. But of
Okay.
course, many of these Hindu people are in high tech jobs, and so in many ways that also feeds into this angle of anti-Semitism, wherein you are essentially blaming a community, or scapegoating is probably a better word, a community, as being responsible for the lack of success of others, for taking jobs away, and for also feeding into the society in which they are immigrating their own negative stereotypes and their own negative culture. So to just give one example of how this idea manifests on both extremes of our political spectrum here in the U.S., you see Melinda Byerly, who's again on the left, using language like Indian immigrants are like parasites who bring the caste system into the tech sector. This is an idea that has also been, as in essentially the same way, maybe dressed up a little bit more in more polite language, been used by equality labs as well, right? To sow the idea that caste is something that is endemic to the Hindu Indian immigrant community that is coming here and is infecting the workplace. At the same time, these anti-immigrant xenophobic stereotypes are used by the right all the time against
Right.
other communities, and are indeed used by them against Hindus as well. For instance, Ann Coulter uses the same argument about Indians bringing caste to the U.S. in a very similar way that Melinda Byerly and Equality Labs do. So there's again this horseshoe between the right and the left, and
Yeah.
again it's happening because there's this convergence of both a wave of immigration, and at the same time, those immigrants being perceived as being privileged and as being, people who are taking away, and at the same time, injecting into society something that is seen as stereotypically negative because of all of the tropes that we have around Hinduism and India.